Forget trending, the second that scandalous headline dropped, it absolutely nuked the entire hip-hop landscape. News that Remy Ma snatched a $30 million bag flashed across our timelines like an emotional jump scare nobody asked for. Instantly, the flawless fairy tale we all believed about her marriage to Papoose began disintegrating right before our eyes. Honestly, the massive payout wasn't even the juiciest part of this mess. It was the behind-the-scenes chaos that allegedly went down the exact second the deal became official. Insiders claim his reaction was so unhinged and totally unscripted that even their inner circle couldn't recognize him anymore. For a decade, this pair wasn't just a basic celebrity marriage. They were the ultimate blueprint of ride-or-die loyalty who survived prison bids, career dry spells, and public embarrassment. He was crowning himself the patron saint of unconditional hip-hop love. So when that mega settlement news leaked, the internet didn't just gossip, they choked on their own confusion before falling completely silent right before the drama erupted. Cue the messy whispers of behind-the-scenes meltdowns, a shocking response from him that totally ruined his saintly husband reputation, and leaked texts vanishing into thin air. Now everyone is frantically asking how long this marriage was actually burning in hell while we were all busy applauding their fake relationship goals. This legal victory is looking like the toxic catalyst for a full-blown war of leaked receipts and heavy accusations that will ruin lives. The minute that bombshell dropped, it wiped out the entire culture like a tactical nuke. Remy Ma securing millions instantly froze every timeline, crashed comment sections, and sent every bottom-feeding blogger into a frantic tailspin trying to validate a reality nobody could mentally process. This isn't a financial win. It is the public execution of a legendary rap union. For years, Remy Ma and her man were the culture's golden standard. They marketed themselves as the ultimate blueprint for unconditional loyalty, bouncing back from prison bits, career flops, industry blackballing, and toxic drama that would easily shatter any normal relationship. Papoose aggressively backed her when the industry canceled her, clapped back at her haters, and played the dutiful spouse whenever the paparazzi vanished. Naturally, naive fans hallucinated this untouchable fairy tale around them that felt completely bulletproof. Too bad that fantasy is officially shattering because early leaks about this $30 million jackpot prove this wasn't some basic legal win. It was an eviction notice for their marriage. A massive shift just went down in the dark that we were never supposed to witness. Now, the messy internet is collectively screaming the exact same question. If their public life is this unhinged, what kind of toxic nightmares were hiding behind closed doors? Initially, we got absolute radio silence, no shady IG stories, no PR statements, zero clarity. But in this messy entertainment world, a silent celebrity never means peace. It means the explosion is currently loading. Then, the inevitable drama leaked out. Industry spies claim Papoose was completely paralyzed, not by the massive bag of cash, but by the devastating reality it confirmed. Witnesses say he went ghost immediately, dodging interviews, ignoring his social media feeds, and completely isolating himself in a state of deep depression. He is basically mourning a disaster he desperately tried to ignore but can no longer deny. See, to delusional outsiders, 30 million looks like a massive win, but to him, it allegedly feels like a permanent divorce. Navigating an ending is never clean when you share decades of history. Suddenly, their inner circle is re-examining old interactions that feel incredibly sketchy in hindsight, like that awkward distance fans blamed on hectic schedules, or their completely drained energy during recent red carpets, and the fact that they stopped posting each other entirely. What we misread as normal relationship growth was actually a dying marriage dropping obvious hints that everyone was just too blind to notice. However, the real plot twist isn't the sudden financial windfall. It is the chaotic emotional fallout that followed. Messy insiders swear Papoose isn't even throwing a public tantrum or releasing angry diss tracks. Instead, sources describe a man crushed under immense emotional trauma, battling severe nostalgia and disappointment while his memories crash straight into reality. He isn't just losing a wife, he is realizing the entire marriage he sacrificed his life for was a total lie. And while he stayed muted, the internet did what it does best. It turned the silence into absolute entertainment. Within minutes, Twitter split into two toxic factions. Team Remy Ma aggressively celebrated the payday as a well-deserved moment of female independence and financial power. Meanwhile, Team Papoose weaponized his years of unmatched loyalty and sacrifice, arguing that no amount of court money can buy back a man's soul. Once the internet starts picking sides, the virtual coliseum gets incredibly bloody. Forgotten clips were instantly unarchived, messy interviews were weaponized, and every single public interaction they ever had was aggressively cross-examined like a murder trial. Delusional fans began overanalyzing minor details, awkward stumbles, tense interview pauses, and old captions that now read like hidden cries for help. Suddenly, the narrative mutated because that massive settlement isn't the only scandal brewing behind the scenes. Messy rumors are exploding about massive marital resentment that was festering long before any judge signed those papers. Nothing new, just years of toxic baggage building up. Everyone is suddenly whispering about intense, screaming matches, emotional abandonment, and secret legal battles that their PR team desperately kept out of the blogs. Whether completely accurate or wildly fabricated, this toxic narrative instantly expanded far beyond a basic courtroom headline. That is precisely when the entire situation spiraled into absolute chaos. Remy finally broke her silence, aggressively addressing the rumors on live while visibly spiraling and pushing back against the messy narratives being fabricated across Twitter. Her obvious rage wasn't just about the clickbait titles. It was about how effortlessly complete strangers were rewriting a decade-long marriage they knew absolutely nothing about. The more she attempted to clarify, the more convoluted this disaster became, because it was no longer about a legal victory. It was a war between her truth and internet perception. Naturally, Papoose eventually entered the chat to deliver his own calculated response. Ditching any chaotic public meltdowns, he released a cold, measured statement that painted a wildly different picture of their history. He complained about being unappreciated, referenced deep-rooted marital toxicity, and exposed massive personal sacrifices that their naive fans never got to see on Instagram. Instantly, the narrative was completely shattered into two conflicting, messy realities of a dying union, and the internet absolutely lost its mind. The second his side of the story dropped, nosy fans immediately began cross-examining their entire history yet again. Suddenly, every old interview clip, red carpet appearance, and music video was weaponized as receipts to defend either her camp or his. The toxic debate exploded, comment sections transformed into digital war zones, and instead of getting any actual clarity, the culture was left with pure, unadulterated confusion. That is when the devastating reality check finally set in, because underneath the sensationalized headlines, the messy arguments, and the endless internet commentary, these were two real individuals who spent a lifetime building a genuine empire together. They shared actual history, deep sacrifices, and private traumas that were never meant for a camera lens. According to sources embedded in the situation, that is exactly why the emotional fallout became incredibly dark for both parties. For Remy masquerading as this unbothered, independent woman came with a massive emotional toll. For Papoose, maintaining his public image as the ultimate ride-or-die husband created a suffocating expectation that was far heavier than his fans could ever comprehend. Somewhere trapped between their competing egos, the legendary relationship we all worshipped collapsed under the weight of its own hypocrisy. But just as the internet drama began to die down into quiet reflection, the blogs aggressively reignited the fire by dragging random outside names into the mix. Messy allegations, cheating rumors, and wild speculation about secret industry affairs began dominating the blogs, pulling third-party celebrities into an active crime scene that was already completely unhinged. At this point, whether the cheating rumors were real or fake didn't even matter, because the drama had transformed into highly profitable entertainment, and in the gossip world, the actual truth is always the last thing to arrive. As more messy voices joined the circus, the narrative became louder, nastier, and emotionally triggering for the culture. Fans weren't just watching a standard celebrity divorce anymore, they were witnessing the public execution of a hip-hop legacy that once symbolized true black love. Through all the noise, one unsettling reality became obvious. There is absolutely no clean ending waiting for this story, no simple explanation to satisfy both sides, and no PR statement that will ever silence the blogs. Every single time a resolution felt close, another toxic layer of deception was unroofed underneath it. Now, the ultimate question haunting this entire disaster isn't about the $30 million, the courts, or the shady public statements. It's about how a couple who literally symbolized unity in an industry built on absolute chaos ended up destroying each other in a war of competing narratives, severe emotional trauma, and an internet that refuses to let them heal in peace. Even as we speak, fresh allegations are leaking, old moments are being overanalyzed, and their current silence is only making the public more obsessed with the secrets they are desperately hiding. That forces us to confront one final, messy thought that nobody can run from. If the public information is already this toxic, what kind of horrifying secrets are still locked behind closed doors? More importantly, when the next devastating receipt inevitably leaks, whose career is it going to completely annihilate? Now, you're probably sitting there thinking the celebrity soap opera has finally reached its dramatic peak, but that is the exact same mistake everyone made right before the last plot twist dropped. Every single layer of this unfolding disaster has proven that absolutely nothing stays safe when greed, trauma, broken loyalty, and intense public scrutiny collide at the exact same time. One shady tweet shifts the power dynamics, one leaked text changes the entire narrative, and a single exclusive interview can flip the internet completely upside down. In a toxic saga like this, silence is never a sign of peace. It is just the quiet countdown before the next bomb detonates. What makes the situation so incredibly addictive is how deeply divided the culture has become over it. One half of the internet sees an empowered woman finally securing her financial freedom after surviving years of trauma and industry setbacks. The other half sees a devastated man whose decades of unmatched loyalty are being completely minimized despite standing firm when the entire world canceled her. In the middle of all that exhausting noise, the actual truth is buried under biases, edited TikTok clips, fabricated rumors, and recycled industry drama. But here is the raw reality that delusional stans refuse to accept. These high-profile divorces never stay contained behind closed doors. There is always another leaked audio file, a shady comment from a relative, or a toxic reaction waiting to drop behind the scenes. The second that next piece of evidence leaks, the internet isn't just going to comment. It is going to react with absolute savagery, aggression, and instant outrage. So the real question isn't even about who is right or wrong in this failing marriage anymore. The real question is how much more toxic filth is waiting to leak from their closets. Every single update we've received has completely flipped the direction of this entire narrative, and there is absolutely zero reason to believe the next bombshell won't do the exact same thing. If you've been tapped into this madness since day one, you already know how the game works. You do not want to find out about the next viral twist after it's already trending on Twitter. You need to witness the destruction the exact second it breaks. Stop scrolling past this like it's some basic celebrity headline that's going to evaporate by tomorrow morning. Stay completely locked in because legacy divorces don't end quietly, they get infinitely messier. To stay 10 steps ahead of every single update in this unfolding war before the mainstream blogs even get their hands on it, smash that subscribe button right now. Turn on your notifications immediately so you never miss the next emergency broadcast the second it drops, because when this narrative shifts again, it will happen without warning. So drop your raw thoughts in the comments below. The internet is completely fractured right now, and every single comment adds another layer of gasoline to this unfolding wildfire. Do you think this is the final chapter? Or are we just scratching the surface of a massive industry cover-up? Whatever the case, you can bet your life savings on one thing: this train wreck isn't slowing.